Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. Today's video is going to be based on my 10-day challenge where I was eating no sugar and no carb at all. I have to say that I was inspired by J-Lo to do this challenge because she did it. I think that everybody knows that. I think she did it in January, at the beginning of the year after the holiday season. But I wanted to do because I usually do every spring some kind of detox to my body, and I usually do some kind of cleanse, and this year I've decided to try this 10-day challenge, no sugar, no carb diet, just to see how much I am actually addicted to sugar, because it is addiction, trust me, and carbs are also addiction. And I just wanted to challenge myself mentally to see if I can do it, because I never took any kinds of diet. I'm not very disciplined when it comes to food. I like to eat the food that I like tasty food. I am a big foodie, so for me it is very hard to restrict myself from not eating this or that. But this time I've decided to take the challenge. It was hard, it was very intense, but at the end I made it, and here I am wanting to share with you. Did I lost some weight? What was I eating? How I was feeling, etc., etc. So if you are interested, then keep on watching. So basically I want to give you a little info what is no sugar, no carb diet. It means that you can eat everything except sugar and carbs. I'm going to tell you what the carbs are and what kind of like less sugary fruit and vegetables are. Artificial sugar is not allowed, such as candy, crackers, cookies, cakes, soft drinks, sodas, anything that has sugar. And trust me, there is such a few things that they don't have a sugar, because I remember going grocery shopping and I saw that even a bacon has a sugar. So loads and loads of things that you see in the grocery shop on the shelves, they contain sugar. So it is very hard to find a product that doesn't contain sugar, which leads to that you have to cook a lot, you have to prep things in advance in order to eat this way. So I wanted to tell you what you can eat, what you cannot eat. So when I said for no sugar, I told you already. For no carbs, you're not allowed to eat any products that contains wheat. You're not allowed to eat rice, any kind of rice like brown, white rice, jasmine rice. You're not allowed to eat quinoa, buckwheat, oats, polenta, so any products that contain corn. You're not allowed to eat potatoes, so not even sweet potatoes that allow so much. And that will be it. So non-starches. You're not also allowed to eat legumes like beans, lentils, you're not allowed to, not even chickpeas, so you cannot even have a hummus with carrots, which I also like to have for a snack. So that will be the carbs that you're not allowed to have. You can have cucumbers, cauliflower, broccoli, celery, zucchini, red peppers, what else? Cabbage, kale, spinach. All green leaves are not starchy vegetables. You cannot have Cornish as well, they're very starchy. So yeah, there will be it, but I'm going to try to give you all the list, or I'm going to try to find the link to the list which that explains a lot better which food you are not allowed to eat. That will be it. Like, that is kind of like the basic what you cannot eat. I didn't say about the protein, so you can have eggs, any type of the meat like pork meat, chicken, turkey, lamb, beef, fish. You can have like sea bass, salmon, tuna. That will be it. And J-Lo, she wasn't taking the dairies, but I did. I took only the goat cheese. I took it like 2 or 3 times for breakfast or when I was making the Greek salad. In some articles where I read, they say that you are allowed to eat dairies because they're full of fat and they don't have sugar, unless you're taking Greek yogurt, which has sugar and milk. But other than that, you are allowed to eat dairies because they're just full of fat. Yeah, when it comes to oils, you can use a coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, flaxseed oil, macadam oil, and that will be it. And for the seasoning, you can use salt, pepper. You can use any kind of herbs such as basil, oregano, pepper, and smoked paprika or something like that. But you are allowed to take apple cider vinegar for seasoning also, but not the chato balsamico and stuff like that, because that contains sugar as well. When I was reading a lot of articles, because I wanted to prep myself before I started with that diet, I read that you're gonna lose weight very fast, which didn't happen to me. Like, I lost only 500 grams, like nothing, because you're gonna feel hungry all the time. You're never gonna feel that you're full, like I can't eat it, like ugh. When you have carbs, I think they make you feel a lot fuller than you actually are. But when you're not eating them, it's just like you're never full. So you can eat all day long. So that thing didn't happen to me. It reduced hunger, but after 3 days, when your body gets used to having a lot of protein, because I was snacking a lot of nuts, such as almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts. I was eating also pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. So that was something that was keeping me full. So after 3 days, I have to say that I felt that I actually wasn't even hungry that much. Or maybe it was because I was just bored of eating the same thing every single day. I mean, I wasn't eating the same thing, but usually the breakfast will be eggs because there's nothing else that you can eat. For the lunch, I was preparing different things and dinner, but like breakfast was so boring for me. Or I have a smoothie, or I have eggs. So yeah, it was pretty boring. But I was also filming one day what I eat in a day, so I'm gonna also upload that video. But I think that first I'm gonna upload what I was eating, and then I'm gonna upload this video, but we'll see about that. But yeah, probably I'm gonna do that way. It has a lot more sense, right? So what was actually giving me a lot more energy, this type of the diet, which sounds weird because you're not taking the sugar, but it felt me more like I didn't have that mood swings, like I was like full of energy and then I was low in energy. I had like energy the whole day, which actually leads to that, because sugar spike is something that gives you instant energy, that you feel like so full, and then after a couple of hours you're just crashed. So that was something that I really noticed, that I was like the whole day full of energy. I wasn't having trouble getting up early in the morning. I wasn't feeling tired. That also something that I noticed. And the thing that I've noticed also is that I didn't wanted to have coffee. I mean, I had like maybe I had like 4 coffees in total, but I was just not craving the coffee at all. First 4 days I wasn't craving it at all, and after I started, like when I was going with my friends, then I wanted to have a cup of coffee, but in my house I wasn't craving it. So that was also it wasn't like, I'm not a big coffee drinker, but it was kind of like a weird thing to me. What else? First 3 days you're feeling so hungry, and then after you are craving sugar. You just want to have a piece of chocolate. You just need to satisfy your sweet tooth somehow. Like, it's so weird, like because I'm so now realizing how sugar is addictive and how you need to have it. And especially, yeah, I didn't say you're not allowed to eat a lot of fruits such as banana, mango, pineapples. You're only allowed to eat berries such as blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. You're allowed to have an apple, but green sweet apple. But I was actually, have to say, I broke the rule because I was putting half of the frozen banana when I was making the smoothie for my breakfast, because I could not imagine a smoothie without a frozen banana. Like, it would taste so bad and it wouldn't be that creamy. So I was putting a half of frozen banana into my smoothie. So yeah, I broke that rule. But also in some articles I read that it is allowed because it's from the fruit. It's not artificial sugar. So yeah, there are so many benefits people are saying that this type of the diet has, especially when it comes to the sugar, because it controls our sugar levels. And the reason why you're losing the weight, how they explain, is your body stores the fats. So sugar that you eat is using the energy for your body. And when you don't eat the sugar and the carbs there, and if you know, carbs are transforming into the sugar, so when you're not eating the sugar and the carbs, your body starts to use the restored fat in your body, so to give you the energy. So that's the reason why you're basically losing the weight. But in my case, or I don't have a lot of fat in my body, but I lost just 500 grams, but I felt lighter, and I had a feeling that I lost weight. But when I went to measure myself, I saw, no, just 500 grams. So I have to disappoint you that if you have, if you were expecting me to tell you that I wasn't losing the weight. I'm sorry, I'm just looking down because I was writing how I was feeling and what I was eating and how I felt like a couple of days, so that's why I'm just looking down and scrolling. Then let's say after 4 days I started to crave the sugar, and then I started to eat the fruits as a snack. I started to eat the raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and that kind of like satisfied my sweet tooth. And then after 7th day I started to crave carbs as crazy. Like I wanted to have French fries, I wanted to have potatoes, I wanted to have bread, which I usually don't eat. I always eat rye bread or a buckwheat bread, but now I was craving wheat bread with a butter, which you are allowed to have. You can have butter or ghee, but without bread it doesn't make sense at all to have it. So that's how I was feeling. I was also drinking a lot of water because my body was craving water, and I usually have 1.5 liter to 2 liters per day, but I think that I was drinking more. I think I was drinking around 2-3 liters per day, which was too much, actually, which was strange for me because I usually don't drink that much of water, but I was craving. And also I was craving a green tea, which I don't know why, and this is something that I really don't like to drink, but yeah, I've started to drink green tea also in it. Pros and cons, like at the end when I tell you what about the whole idea, what I was eating and how I was feeling, is that you are going to feel better. You're going to feel lighter, you're going to feel more energized. And the reason why I wanted to do this diet is because I wanted to see how mentally strong I am to tell my body, no, you do not need the artificial sugar, you don't need chocolate, you're fine with just a piece of fruit. That was actually my goal in this diet. It is very challenging and it is very hard, and especially if you are not somebody who is eating a lot at home, because there's not many options. When you go to the restaurant, they usually make some dressings with the sugar, or they're using some things that they're just not healthy, and you never know what they put in your plate. So that was definitely challenging for me. But let's say when I was going to the restaurant, when I went to the sushi place, I was eating tuna tartar because it only contains tuna, avocado, chives, and they put tamari instead of soy sauce. So I was having that, and I was also having sashimi, so no rice, which was actually something that was really hard for me. And you can also have like soups in the restaurants, tomato soups, or any kind of, like, you can even have a chicken broth soup, but without any noodles, which again, I know it's not tasty, but what you can do. The good and bad things I already told you. There is not, you have to be very strict with your eating. You always have to plan in advance what you're gonna eat the next day, what you're gonna snack, because if you find yourself hungry and you are going to be hungry and not having anything to snack, you're gonna go for something bad. So definitely that. But on the other side, there are so many good things, because I think that my skin never looked better. My skin was so clean, it was so hydrated. Before I was actually eating a lot more healthier, but since we got Victor, I've stopped to cook that much. And which I know sounds weird, but honestly we ordered a lot, and that was the reason we were eating a lot of in the restaurants. But the good thing is, because these 10 days I was cooking at home and I got back to it, which is such a positive thing, that I'm going to cook at home now. And I was so inspired to work with a certain amount of vegetables and things that I can just make something, and I cannot wait to show you the recipes. They're so tasty. And that's it, guys. That was my impression about the 10-day challenge, no sugar, no carb. Is it worth it? I think it is. You should definitely go for it, just because of your mental health, like to see if you can do it. I think the 10 days are the amount of the days that nothing bad can happen, but you have to incorporate protein in every of your meal, especially if you have any kind of health issues. Consult your doctor. Don't do it on your own, because any kind of diet could be very tricky. So if you have health issues, consult your doctor or ask somebody, is this thing safe for you? I wasn't feeling dizzy, I wasn't feeling tired. I know, and I was watching a lot of YouTubers who did it also, and they were feeling tired, dizzy. They had a low sugar level, so yeah, they had like, some of them had like good experience, some of them had a bad experience. My experience is good. I can say only positive things about it. It also makes you to start thinking what you are eating and to be more aware of the things that you're putting into your body. So definitely I would recommend you to try this 10 days challenge, no sugar, no carb. Let me know in the comments below if you did it already and if you have any experience about it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Like this video if you find it helpful, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!